Is being woke really a bad thing? And what does it have to do with being autistic? Hi, I'm Phil. I'm a late diagnosed autistic adult here to bust myths about autism, advocate for older autistic people, and show how autistic thinking can offer powerful insights into justice and fairness. Today we're diving into the word woke, where it comes from and how it is being used politically and why it matters to autistic people like me. You've probably heard the word woke used as an insult, especially by conservative politicians in elections globally, used to attack anyone who stands for equality and progressive ideas. But let's be clear, woke isn't new. The term has deep roots in African American history, first appearing in the 1930s as part of the phrase "stay woke," meaning to stay awake to racial injustice. But even earlier, back in 1860, the Wide Awakes movement supported Abraham Lincoln and the abolition of slavery. Over time, woke came to mean being alert to all forms of social injustice, racism, sexism, ableism, LGBTQ+ rights, and more. Starting with Donald Trump in 2016, we saw woke flipped on its head, used as a weapon to divide. This tactic isn't new. Demonise a group, create a scapegoat, and rally supporters by blaming the other side. Sound familiar? It's straight from the authoritarian playbook, used throughout history to suppress dissent and maintain power. Now, in Australia and globally, we see woke being used not as a call for justice, but as a political insult, a way to shut down conversations about equality. So why should autistic people care? Because many of us have what's often called black and white thinking, a strong internal compass for right and wrong. When we see injustice, whether it's racism, ableism, or inequality, we feel compelled to speak up. It's not just politics, it's about ethics. Weaponizing woke to silence calls for justice is a form of manipulation, and autistic people tend to see right through that. It's like waving a red flag to a bull. As autistic people, we're not just targets of bullying, we often stand up to bullies too. That drive to defend fairness. In fact, the myth that autistic people all have something that they are so good at it's like a superpower maybe goes closest when it comes to right and wrong, values and fairness. Maybe this is our mythical superpower after all. This fight hits closer to home than many realise. In the US, political figures like RFK Jr. are spreading dangerous misinformation about autism, calling it an epidemic and pushing for a cure. Let's be clear, autism is not a disease, it's a neurodevelopmental difference. You don't catch it and you can't cure it. You're born autistic and you die autistic. It's not caused by vaccines, food additives, absent parenting, or toxins. The only sickness when it comes to autism is in the minds of these people who refuse to look at the science because that would nullify their agenda or funding stream. Worse, RFK Jr. has suggested a mandatory autism registry using AI and health data, raising serious concerns about privacy, discrimination, and even eugenics. Historically, autistic people have been victims of eugenics movements. During the Second World War, Hans Asperger, after whom the no longer used autism classification Asperger syndrome was named, it has been alleged that while working at the University of Vienna Paediatric Clinic, actively contributed to the Nazis' eugenics programs by referring profoundly disabled children to the Am Spiegelgrain Clinic, also located in Vienna, to be euthanized with the goal of creating a pure society through racial hygiene. And as horrible as this is, the Nazi movement actually took some of their beliefs about racial purity from the eugenics programs in the United States of the early 1900s, where the poor, disabled and immoral were sterilised. Shockingly, these forced sterilisations actually continued in some areas right up to the 1970s. As an autistic person, I stand with marginalised groups because I know what it's like to be part of one. And yes, if that means I'm woke, then I'm proud to be woke. Because being awake to injustice, that's not a weakness, it's a strength. So the next time someone uses woke as a slur, remember, it's just a political tool used by political tools. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful or thought-provoking, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your community, and subscribe for more deep dives into autism, justice, and advocacy. And feel free to check out my 2-part intro series on autism. Links are in the description. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from fellow autistic folks and allies. What does woke mean to you? Stay curious, stay kind, and above all, stay awake. Thanks. See you later.